Hello, welcome to another video of fun chess game. This time I'm playing black. I was experimenting with Englund Gambit, also known as Hartlaw Charlie Gambit. I'm playing black, and this is how the game went. My opponent white started off with pawn to d4, and I responded with pawn to e5, just giving up one pawn in the very first move. White grabs it, d takes e5, and we offer an exchange here. So white takes it, saying why not? We capture from the bishop. The point is, we're slightly ahead of white in terms of development. Our kingside bishop is out, and we are playing on the open d file and the semi-open e file. So white makes the move knight f3, so developing their kingside piece. And as black in this gambit, we develop our queenside pieces quickly. So knight c6. White wants to probably develop their bishop and prepare for castling, a natural development move. So black responded with bishop g4. This move serves two purposes. One is we want to quickly develop all our queenside pieces. Next move, we want to take out our queen and castle on the queen side. So we wanted to get the bishop out of this square, c8. But this also serves another purpose. So it just pins the knight. White can't really remove their knight because the bishop will take the queen if they do. So Blask is asking a question: what are you going to do about it? Waste some moves with like h3 and g4, or put your bishop on a passive square here? So white responded with bishop e2. A natural development move temporarily solves this pin and allows them to castle kingside. So I played queen e7, preparing to castle on the queen side. Now white makes this somewhat dubious move, knight b to d2. So they're probably thinking that next black is preparing to castle queen side, and the rook is going to come on this file, d file, where their queen is placed on the open file. So they're probably slightly worried, and they probably also want to be able to remove the bishop and the queen from this diagonal where the bishop is pinning the knight on f3. So this is what they probably think, and they probably are also trying to develop more of queenside, just to be able to explore this option of castling queenside. Anyway, so we just go with our standard plan. So this is what we were preparing for, to castle on the queenside. Now all our queenside pieces are out. We just castle. We have reached a milestone here. Our king is safe, and we are ready to attack white in the center if they leave the king here, and if they move to king side with the king side castle. We're just ready to attack with all our pieces on the king side and in the center. So whites have probably sensed this, that black is now somewhat safe on the queen side because they have castled on the queen side. So white is trying to rip open the queen side. They're probably thinking all their pieces are protecting their king in the center of the board, and they start this queen side attack. We're not really bothered about it because it's easy to defend, because none of the white's pieces are aiming at the queen side except for the undeveloped rook on a1. So we're not really concerned about it. Just go ahead with our normal development move. Knight f6. So now that our rook can move freely, we want to probably place it on e8 and put more pressure on these two files, the open e file, open d file, and the semi-open e file. So white continues to attack without proper firepower. They are simply offering up a pawn for nothing. So they are probably hoping that if we take this pawn, they probably want to place their rook or queen on b file and make this a semi-open file and attack the king. But they don't have enough material to back up their dubious attack. So we just take with the bishop. So bishop takes b4. This also helps us in our attack because now the rook has started putting pressure on the d file. Now the knight on d2 is also pinned, so they can't really take it out because number one, it's illegal to move the knight now because the bishop will give a check if the knight is removed, so that's not possible. And if somehow they try to move away their king or play c3 and then try to open up their knight, that's also not possible because the rook hits the queen on d1. So if at all anything, white gave up the pawn for nothing, and they got themselves into more trouble in the center. So they are now following up with their plan, placing the rook on the semi-open b file by giving away a pawn. They thought they're probably thinking they will have some attack here on the queenside castle king of black. So just go. Since we know that the knight really cannot move, we put more pressure on it. So knight to e4, and this bishop is well protected by the queen and the knight, so they can't really take the bishop with their rook. Now look at the white's pieces, all crumbled except for this knight on f3, which made it to the third rank. All of them are in first and second rank, and a lot of pins here. You can't really move this knight. And this bishop is undeveloped. This bishop on e2 is also not doing anything there. The position overall looks great and winning for black. Now they play bishop d3, hoping to cut off this rook from hitting this knight and queen, and they're probably thinking they're somehow placing an attack on this knight. After the castle, they're probably thinking to take from the knight. But look at the problem they have created for themselves. Knight c3 and low. The queen is trapped right on d1 at its home square. The only place the queen can move to is e2. There also the knight attacks the queen. So the opponent tried a few more moves, took the bishop for the rook. They gave up the exchange for nothing, but the queen is still trapped, so we just take the rook. A very nice exchange for black. Now the castle, and now the queen can move to e1, so we don't want to let it happen, so we take the queen. They take the knight. Black is up material, and it's easy to win from here. Let's see how the game continued. So we just keep grabbing whatever is possible and simplify the position. We get one more pawn. Just take one more exchange, simplify further. Notice that they can't take from the knight because there's a pin. This is the advantage of the Englund Gambit. Place the knight, place the rook on the nice open D file and keep pinning pieces and putting pressure on this file. Even in the end game, the advantage is still helping us. So we double up on the D file, put more pressure. So they want to stop this pressure a little bit, but we just play C5, forcing their bishop to move away from this D file. Okay, they move rook c1. Now they are pinning our pawn, so c takes d4 is not possible now. But hey, the knight is hanging there. We just take the knight. So they grab our free pawn, hoping that they can somehow take the queen or move the bishop elsewhere and use this discovered check at queen g5 plus. So the king has to move. No other means. King h1, and we give a nice check with rook d1, forcing rook takes d1, and rook takes d1 as a checkmate. That was a nice illustration of early queenside attempt from white, but they left their king and other pieces hanging in the central